What do you know? Mr. Breaking News himself, our very own Sawyer Merritt, once again appearing on CNBC discussing Tesla. This is a very positive development.
Couldn't be more clear than that. Joining us now, though, to talk about the car and the company is Tesla watcher Sawyer Merritt. Sir, good to have you on. We've talked about many people in the past, not just yourself, but others, about full self-driving and how cool it is. It's not all there 100% yet, but it's getting there. And could Tesla, the company, do a better job, maybe even like TV ads, I know it's old school, of selling the public on exactly what this is? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think they could. Tesla owners are currently now driving roughly 15 million miles on average per day using FSD, which is roughly a 250% increase just from 3 months ago. So that's roughly 1 billion miles every 68 days. And it took Tesla around 3.5 years to hit its first billion miles. And on top of that, Tesla's compute capacity is, going to increase, I think, roughly 500% this year. And to me, how can any other automaker catch up to Tesla in terms of data gathering when they?
So obviously, we all know the answer is they can't catch up. And I do want to be clear, this is not hyperbole. In order for anyone to catch up to Tesla, not only would they need to be able to click their fingers and magically, instantly have 6+ million camera-encrusted vehicles on roads. And as far as I'm aware, there's no magic catch up to Tesla button to do that. And the capital expense of actually putting those vehicles on roads, I mean, bro, we're talking about a few $1 trillion, actually a few $1 trillion, by the way, not billions, trillions, a few $1 trillion worth of hardware. You'd also obviously need to build the infrastructure to actually collect the data, the entire flywheel, and of course, importantly, somehow hire the talent and retain the talent. And then from that point, you would need to actually be producing vehicles and putting them on roads at an equivalent rate to Tesla in order to capture as much data as Tesla indefinitely. Now, as far as I'm aware, there aren't any companies out there today who have a few $1 trillion they could immediately turn into vehicles on roads collecting data at scale, nor any companies that could somehow come up with that kind of cash and convince their shareholders and board of directors and everyone else involved in decision making that it's a good idea to risk many hundreds of billions of dollars. Now, the hardware itself is going to be costing trillions, but you can sell those to consumers. So depending on how much money you make or more likely to lose on those vehicles, it's probably only going to cost a few hundreds of billions of dollars to put the hardware on roads initially. But how many companies would approve that? If it doesn't pan out, in most cases, unless you're Apple, you kill the company. And even if you are Apple, why bother doing that? We can just continue to milk profits from existing products and not take the risk. Oh, wait, hang on a minute. That's right. Apple recently canned their electric vehicle and autonomy project. So, the one company that maybe could have potentially at least attempted this and not gone bankrupt if it failed, have thrown in the towel. So, I mean, Sawyer's subtle, but he's right. Ain't no way anyone's catching Tesla in terms of their unassailable, hence the word unassailable, data lead. More on this later in the video.
They have a fleet of millions of vehicles already gathering billions of miles of data.
Well, and Tesla drivers, to your point, they're the proselytizers, right? They're the ones out there preaching to the masses. You got to try, even to other Tesla owners, try the FSD, or to non-Tesla owners, but there's only so much that they can do. I mean, they're going to touch 1 or 2 people at a time.
I think at the end of the day, butts and seats help sell Teslas. And I think the same can be said about FSD. It's something you really need to try in person to really understand the experience. It's one thing to see videos online, but it's a whole nother experience in person. So I think people just got to try it.
I was schlepping up the West Side Highway from the NYC to here today, and the guy next to me, we were in bumper-to-bumper traffic, was on his phone in a Tesla, no hands on the wheel because the car was driving itself. And I have to say, I got a little jealous because I was both hands on the wheel. By the way, quickly, Beijing Auto Show going on right now. How worried, if at all, are you about all these cheap Chinese companies that may come in here, Sawyer?
Yeah, China is the most competitive EV market right now, but Tesla and BYD are really the only automakers making money on EVs. And, despite all the cheaper EVs launching, I suspect we'll see some consolidation in the market, which would help Tesla. And BYD has also shared that they have no short-term plans to enter the American market. So Tesla really doesn't have to worry about that too much. Tesla's brand is still really strong in China, and I suspect they'll do well in the years to come.
All right, well, we'll see what happens with BYD, to your point. Sawyer Merritt, always love having you on. Great stuff online and everywhere else. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian.
Definitely agree regarding BYD and Chinese EV makers. Now, we've got more discussion on FSD and, funnily enough, China right now. In case you missed it, Elon Musk recently reiterating what Cathie Wood had said, Tesla is the biggest AI project on Earth. And on that note, Musk posting today, Tesla will spend around $10 billion this year in combined training and inference AI, the latter being primarily in car. Just in case there are any non-ultra autist nerds watching, training. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? It's actually making FSD better, although technically some of that training could be for Optimus Bot. But an inference is executing, doing, as in driving vehicles. He continues, any company not spending at this level and not doing so efficiently, by the way, that's extremely important, cannot compete. Cannot. Not will have a hard time competing. No, cannot. And he's right. $10 billion. And remember, Tesla is ruthlessly efficient versus any other company that I'm aware of. They get so much bang for buck. They're so resourceful, lean and efficient that honestly, if you adjust for Tesla's incredible resourcefulness and efficiency, this could be $15-20+ billion of equivalent spending, maybe more. Just remember, folks, this is the same guy, Elon, leading Tesla, who shit-canned about 80% of the people employed by Twitter when he acquired the company. And the company now is a superior service with a fuck ton of new features, with a fraction of the employees. So you think 50 to 100% additional is an exaggeration? Come on, bro. Not even close. This could be, I don't know, 30, 40, $50 billion. Today, Cathie Wood also chimed in on some of this discussion. Yes, at a time when many companies are bowing to short-term oriented shareholders who are demanding profits, dividends, and share repurchases now, Tesla's increased investment in the largest AI project on Earth is separating it from the auto and tech packs. And I saw today some guy with 3 first names posted this, presented without comment. And that was in response to Musk confirming that Tesla will spend around $10 billion this year on AI. I wonder what this video was. Apparently it's from March 2024. Anyway, it's pretty short, only 22 seconds. So let's see what that guy with 3 first names was posting without comment.
No, it's not an AI company, and Elon's made it clear he's not going to build AI at Tesla. No, it's not an AI company, and Elon's made it clear he's not going to build AI at Tesla.
Oh, it turns out that clip is even shorter than I thought. Apparently, Tesla is not an AI company, and Elon has made it clear that he's not going to build AI at Tesla. This was March 2024. Just trying to square these two things, from the genius guy in a suit saying that Tesla isn't an AI company, and that Musk made it clear he's not going to build AI at Tesla, and Musk making it clear that Tesla's going to spend $10 billion this year alone on AI. And Cathie Wood, of course, agreeing with Musk's earlier comments that Tesla is the world's biggest AI company. Does anyone understand what that guy in the suit was saying with the nice hair? I'm a little bit confused. I think possibly he may be wrong, embarrassingly so. Or maybe I just misunderstood. Maybe he didn't really mean to say that Tesla is not an AI company and really didn't mean to say that Elon had made it clear that he won't build AI at Tesla. Or maybe he just has sand in his vagina. And now, over to Ed Ludlow of Bloomberg, who's doing his best to understand Tesla, and you've got to give the guy credit. He took the free 1-month trial, I believe, until Ed finally tried FSD, but hey, better late than never, Ed. And at least he's trying to understand the company. So he posts this: FSD supervised from Novato to Napa, around 30 miles, handled 37 to 121. I'm assuming he's referring to highways or some shit like that. Fucked if I know. Someone in the US can probably explain. Only disengagement was a protected/lighted left-hand turn where it was fine, but we hit a pothole and that appeared to cause disengagement. My wife did make a good observation that amidst heavy traffic at 50 miles an hour, FSD tailed the vehicle in front 1 or less car lengths, but all in good. And by the way, Ed may not be aware, but as far as I'm aware, you can actually change the follow length. You must have it set to 1, goes all the way up to like 7 or something. Now, this is an important moment because Ed spends a lot of time in his job talking about Tesla. And as some guy responded, by actually using FSD, Ed has instantly become one of the most well-informed people in the media regarding Tesla. It's incredible the number of folks who claim things such as Tesla not having anything to do with AI, just being a car company and so on, who not only have never actually used FSD, but haven't even watched any unedited videos of this software operating. They have no idea. So credit where it's due here. Ed's now got a huge leap on his fellow media folks discussing Tesla. And just to underscore, 30-mile trip, 1 intervention, which was only induced apparently by the vehicle hitting a pothole. No pothole, no interventions, which obviously shows that unsupervised FSD is centuries away, so nothing to see here. Plus, it's obviously not AI. It's just, I mean, every car can drive itself intervention free for 30 miles, give or take, right? I saw this from James Dowmer. When unsupervised FSD is released, the value of the US Tesla fleet will go from in the hundreds of billions of dollars to the trillions. I'm going to leave this prediction here and see how it ages. I feel pretty good about it. Now, I think it's fair to say that James has a much bigger brain than, I'll probably say 99.999% of the people watching this channel. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be right about this, but I am just pointing out that he definitely has a very large brain relative to the average viewer of this channel. And I think it's absolutely certain that he has a much bigger brain than anyone managing money for anybody else, aside from a few possible exceptions, which would be the hedge fund managers who've managed to massively outperform the market for literal decades and have since closed their fund to new investors and have had them closed for decades. But outside of that, he's a pretty sharp dude and has a great understanding of the things necessary to comment on autonomy. Of course, James could be wrong, but we'll be able to keep him accountable, which is the entire point of his prediction. Now, I came across this on X as well. Could possibly be reading into the tea leaves a little too much, but hey, still worth discussing. In the upgrade page of the Tesla user app in China, the description for FSD has recently changed from coming later to coming soon. I don't know if these changes apply to everyone or just a few customers can see that, or maybe it's just a bug. Now, it could be a coincidence. It may not though, so I thought I'd share. While we're on the topic of China and FSD, I also saw this. Tesla has met all 4 requirements of the National Automotive Data Security Standards, and various regions have gradually lifted bans on parking and driving. Now, I'm not going to read through all the details here. I'm sure you guys can find this on X if you're curious. But the point now is that it appears in terms of hurdles, no more exist before Tesla is able to launch FSD in China. And then we have the coincidence with coming later becoming coming soon. And we ain't done yet. Elon Musk met with China's premier at the State Council in Beijing. This was a surprise visit, not announced publicly. Does anyone have any guesses as to why Elon Musk would have flown to China without notifying people ahead of time, at least not publicly? Why he would be meeting with officials, members of government? I mean, maybe he just wants to catch up and say, hi, it's been a while, man, I missed you, how are you, bro? Or maybe something's brewing with Tesla in China.
On the 28th, State Council Premier Li Qiang met in Beijing with Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla Inc. Li Qiang says Tesla's growth in China is a prime example of successful economic and trade cooperation between China and the US. It's clear that equal cooperation and mutual benefit are most in line with the fundamental interests of both countries. Hope the US side will move closer to China, follow the strategic guidance of the leaders of both countries, and promote the continuous and stable development of China-US relations.
By the way, I just got to say it. I mean, can we just be real here? Elon Musk is a better president of the United States than the actual president of the United States. He's a great international diplomat. He's built phenomenal relationships around the world. A great ambassador for the US for innovation, easing tensions, getting business done. You love to see it.
China's huge market will always be open to foreign investment. China is committed to its words, continuing to work on expanding market access and enhancing service guarantees. China aims to provide a better business environment and comprehensive support for foreign companies, making them feel secure to invest. Musk said that Tesla's Shanghai Gigafactory is the best performing factory, thanks to the hard work and intelligence of the Chinese team. Tesla looks forward to deepening cooperation with China for more win-win results. On the 28th.
So, any guesses as to what's brewing, folks? I mean, I could rattle off half a dozen potential ideas. By the time I post this video, we'll probably already know the results. I am pre-recording it, but as I record this, the market's currently closed. In the US, it is Sunday. I'm going to put this on the record. I won't be surprised if this meeting in China, this surprise meeting, causes an increase in volume on Tesla when the market opens on Monday. But like I said, by the time I publish this, at least, except for my ex-subscribers who get super early access, we'll already know. Oh, hey, it's Future Steven here. I decided, at least if you're hearing this, you must be watching on YouTube. My ex-subscribers have already seen the original video, which I published on Sunday while the market was still closed. But yeah, it turns out that Tesla stock moved slightly higher on Monday, up a mere 15.31%. And amazingly, that was on the back of an enormous increase in volume, with the average volume on Tesla stock, as in the number of shares being sold or purchased in a day, over the last 3 months being 102.96 million. On Monday, 243.87 million. A massive, and I mean massive, increase in volume. What a surprise. I'm just kidding. I literally said I thought that would happen. Now, it turns out we also know exactly why Elon Musk was in China, at least a reasonable portion of why. The short version is that Tesla will be partnering with China's Baidu for Chinese maps for FSD, as opposed to, for example, using Google Maps in China, which ain't possible. Suddenly, it appears to have dawned on a few people that, if that, maybe FSD will happen in China, and they already have a fleet of nearly 2 million vehicles in China. Some of those people could subscribe to FSD, which would be more money for Tesla out of thin air. If only we could have known that this was possible before this. Oh, wait, but we did know. Fucking idiots. So we're about to get to Past Stephen, although by the time this is published, you're also hearing from Past Stephen. It's getting confusing, isn't it? But anyway, interjection, Stephen, from the future, updating his prediction about Tesla volume and the response as the stock market opened, has one final thing to say. Past, present, and future Stephen all know that their brain is far too small to try and time the market. So we don't. We just buy Tesla stock when we have money, because as opposed to trying to guess and speculate about what will happen in terms of Tesla stock over the extremely short term, which brings a great level of uncertainty and risk. Past, present, and future Stephen instead look into the future, work back from there and think, even in the worst case scenario, this looks like a fucking deal today. Gonna buy some, and I'll see you in 10 years. With that said, back to Past Stephen. And now before we wrap up, back to that post from Cathie Wood, which was actually part of a thread. She continues, shareholders have rewarded Government Motors and Ford in the short term for cutting investments in electric vehicles and robotaxis. In its earnings call last week, Elon Musk suggested that a US OEM might sign on to Tesla's autonomous or robotaxi network possibly this year, boosting our robotaxi forecast. If the Cybercab robotaxi network scales as well as we believe it will, then Tesla's gross margin should increase dramatically. While its gross margins are likely to increase from 15-16% now to 25-35% as EVs gain share, its robotaxi margins should be software as a service-like in the 70-85% range. The Balls Deep Journal suggested that Tesla is finally heeding shareholder demands for less investment and more cash. Tasha Keeney and Sam Kouris, ARK Invest analysts, believe that Elon Musk is using cost savings from unboxed manufacturing to double down on low-cost cars and the Cybercab network. Doubling down. Investor time horizons have collapsed from years to quarters in the risk-off environment that the Fed has engineered during the past 3 years. By the way, she's so fucking right. Can anyone think of any examples of people whose investment horizon has collapsed to a micro-penis length time frame? Oh my God, this quarter. Oh my God, I'm gonna cut my exposure. Not name names, of course. I'm just asking if anyone has seen any of exactly what Cathie's describing occurring. For what it's worth, I still look 10 plus years out into the future. I model 10 plus years out into the future. That's literally why my valuation model, which you guys all know by now, right? You can access on Patreon at the investor level and above. Click the link to the pinned comment. Has always covered a 10-year time frame, and a model far beyond that. It's just the uncertainty is too great to share that publicly, but still worth doing exercise. So I'm always looking 10 plus years into the future, but I have noticed time horizons shrinking big time of late. According to Morningstar, US active large cap growth managers have raised their exposures to the Magnificent Six to 45% on average. What? Investors have piled into cash-rich mega-cap innovation stocks, a crowded trade, and are neglecting pure plays in disruptive innovation that are not in the broad-based benchmarks. We believe this crowded trade will lead to subpar returns relative to those from small to large-cap stocks that are not in broad-based benchmarks. Tesla did earn a place in broad-based benchmarks and is in the Magnificent Seven, but investors and journalists have shifted their attention to the Magnificent Six in a tough macro environment. Perhaps in response to Elon Musk's bold vision and willingness to invest aggressively in the new world. Now, surely, if you pay attention to what's happening and discussion and sentiment, you'll have noticed this, right? A couple of months ago, should Tesla be removed from the Magnificent Seven? Tesla underperforming Magnificent Seven. You heard a million times, right? She's absolutely hitting the nail on the head here. More evidence of fear in the equity markets is in the Depression era-like concentration of stocks, suggesting a record-breaking flight to safety, in quotation marks, as shown in the chart below. This data as of 14th of March 2024. What we're looking at here is the market capitalization of the largest stock relative to the 75th percentile stock. We're at record highs here. What Cathie is suggesting and what this data suggests is the extremely intelligent investors in the stock market that aren't sheep and don't have herd mentality have all piled into what they perceive to be safe stocks. Just buy me some Apple and some Microsoft, I'm scared, daddy. And out of almost everything else. Because they're scared, they're fearful, they're uncertain. It is certainly fair to say that more than $500 billion has fled Tesla stock over the last couple of years and gone somewhere, which is totally valid and reasonable because, after all, Tesla is just a car company. They definitely are not the world's largest AI project. Autonomy and FSD, that's just a stock pump. Plus, Elon has made it clear that he's not going to develop AI at Tesla anyway. So, yeah, good one, guys. That makes sense. But Could somebody explain to me just one last time why exactly just a car company would be spending $10 billion this year on AI? I'd love to know. Seems a bit weird. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment, See you over on Twitter and or Patreon. And don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.